Chicago Fire Soccer Club is an American professional association football club based in the Chicago suburb of Bridgeview, Illinois. The team competes in Major League Soccer. The organization is named for the Great Chicago Fire of 1871, and was founded on October 8, 1997, the event's 126th anniversary. In their first league season in 1998, the Fire won the MLS Cup as well as the U.S. Open Cup. They have also won U.S. Open Cups in 2000, 2003, and 2006. In addition to the 2003 MLS Supporters Shield. The Fire maintain an extensive development system, consisting of the Chicago Fire Premier, the Chicago Fire NPSL team, the Chicago Fire Development Academy, and the Chicago Fire Juniors Youth Organization. They also operate the Chicago Fire Foundation, the team's community-based charitable division. Toyota Park is the Fire's home stadium. The team's head coach is Frank Yallop. History, overview. Founded on October 8, 1997, the club was originally based at Soldier Field. Since 2006, they reside at Toyota Park at 71st and Harlem Avenue in Bridgeview. The owners of the Fire are Andal Holdings, who purchased the club in 2007. Andal Holdings director Andrew Hauptmann acts as club chairman, while the director of soccer is Frank Yallop and the chief operating officer is Atul Khosla. The Fire are historically most successful in the U.S. Open Cup. Winning championships in 1998, 2000, 2003, and 2006. The Fire keeps a close connection with the Chicago Sting by holding frequent commemorative events, reunions, and wearing Sting-inspired shirts. Many notable players have worn the Fire shirt, including U.S. internationals Chris Armas, Carlos Bocanegra, Frank Yallop, DaMarcus Beasley, Brian McBride, Tony Sinay, Corey Gibbs, Ante Razov, Josh Wolf and Eric Inalda. Some of the club's other notable American professional players include C.J. Brown, Jesse Marsh, Chris Rolfe, and Zach Thornton. The Fire also has a reputation for importing international talent, from established veterans like Pavel Pardo, Piotr Novak, Kota Copyright Mok Blanco, Tomas Frankowski, Lubos Kibik and Hristo Stoichkov. In addition to younger players such as Patrick Nyarko, Marco Papa, Damani Ralph, Bakary Samer, and Neri Castillo. Club foundation and initial success. Founded in 1997 at Navy Pier, on the anniversary of the Great Fire, the Fire immediately tapped into the diverse ethnic makeup of the city. The team brought in Polish players Piotr Novak, Jerzy Podbrozzi, and Roman Kosecki. The Mexican Jorge Campos. And the Czech Lubos Kibik. While all showed their talent while playing for Chicago that first year, American players proved most integral to the Fire's continued success. Under the club's first head coach, Bob Bradley and against all expectation the team completed the double in its first competitive year, beating DC United in the 1998 MLS Cup final, and defeating the Columbus Crew in Chicago to win the 1998 U.S. Open Cup a week later. The team's momentum continued, reaching the 2000 MLS Cup final and winning the 2000 U.S. Open Cup. Internationally experienced players such as Hristo Stoichkov joined the Fire, while young American talents such as DaMarcus Beasley developed. The Fire quickly became cemented as one of the league's preeminent teams. Nomadic times, with Soldier Field undergoing massive renovations, the Fire moved to the western Chicago suburb of Naperville, Illinois in 2002. That same year, Bob Bradley abruptly departed the team to lead the Metro Stars, from his home state of New Jersey. The Fire then selected the U.S. men's national team's top assistant, Dave Sarakan, to assume the vacant post. Chicago qualified for the league final while also capturing the Supporters Shield and 2003 U.S. Open Cup along the way. The team returned to Chicago in the renovated Soldier Field midway through the 2003 season. After that season, longtime captain Piotr Novak retired to take a position in the front office. He departed a year later to become manager of DC United. In this period new talent emerged, including Jamaican striker Damani Ralph. Still, stagnating performances and the building strength of the Eastern Conference made Chicago's league position ever more tenuous. In 2004, the team missed the league playoffs for the first time in their history. Turmoil, and a permanent home, the 2005 season began with the unexpected dismissal of popular club president Peter Wilt by then owners AEG, a move decried by fans, many players, and club staff. This came as a shock, given his brokering of a $100 million deal to build the Fire a stadium in the collar suburb of Bridgeview. He was immediately replaced by MetroStars executive John Guppy. Competitively, the season was most notable for the blockbuster visit of Milan from Italy's Serie A, and the surprising 4-0 away defeat of DC United in the Eastern Conference semi-finals. 2006 arrived, and the Fire moved from Soldier Field into its new stadium in Bridgeview, on the southwest side of Chicago, Toyota Park, located at the corner of 71st Street and Harlem Avenue. In its first season, it played host to an unspectacular league campaign. But victory in the 2006 U.S. Open Cup marked a continuation of the club's successes and promise for the future. The anxiety to win another league title continued to grow, however. Sarachan entered 2007 under intense pressure from fans and the administration to produce a league championship. Tension mounted further on April 3, 2007, when the Fire signed Mexico and Alma copyright Rica star Quarter copyright Mock Blanco to a designated player contract. After a perfect 3 matches to open the year, they won only one of their next 8, and Sarachan was dismissed. Following a brief search, Millonarios manager Juan Carlos Osorio was named the club's 3rd head coach. The Hopeman era. More change came soon afterward. On September 6, 2007, Andal Holdings, a Los Angeles-based private investment firm controlled by Chairman and Chief Executive Officer Andrew Hopeman, acquired AEG's interests in both the Chicago Fire Soccer Club and Toyota Park. Reports estimated the purchase price to be upwards of $35 million. On the field, behind Blanco and Wilman Cond, Osorio's central defender at Millonarios, the Fire went on an extended unbeaten run to close the season, easily qualifying for the playoffs but were defeated at New England in the Eastern Conference Final. On December 10, 2007, the Fire announced Osorio's resignation. He was named manager of the New York Red Bulls 8 days later. Hopeman filed tampering charges with the league in protest, and the Fire were compensated by the Red Bulls with cash and draft picks. Changes came quickly in Osorio's wake. On January 17, 2008, former Fire star Frank Yallop was named technical director in charge of player personnel, and longtime Fire assistant Dennis Hamlett was appointed manager. While the Fire struggled at home in 2008, the team found unusual success on the road, gathering 22 out of a possible 45 away points. Momentum grew with the long-anticipated signing of Chicago native Brian McBride on a free transfer in July 2008. After disposing of the Red Bulls 5-2 in the season's final game, they decisively conquered New England in the first round of the playoffs with a 3-0 victory at home. This was Chicago's first playoff advancement over the Revolution in 4 consecutive seasons. But triumph only lasted for a week, as they again missed the league final with their 2-1 Eastern Conference final loss to eventual champion Columbus. The 2009 season saw few alterations to the previous year's roster. The story of the season was much the same, as continued poor home form offset excellent performances away from Toyota Park. This led to a second-place Eastern Conference finish behind Columbus. Despite this, Real Salt Lake managed to upset the Crew in the quarterfinals, meaning Chicago would host the semi-final for the first time in 6 years. Chicago's nearly flawless home playoff history meant little in the end, as they lost to Salt Lake, 5-3, on penalties after 120 scoreless minutes. Shortly thereafter, manager Dennis Hamlett was dismissed. A team in flux, leading up to 2010, Chicago hired Carlos de los Cobos as head coach, previously manager of El Salvador. Quarter copyright Mock Blanco, Chris Rolfe and Gonzalo Seguez all departed. More changes came in the summer transfer window with the trade of Justin Mapp to Philadelphia, the acquisition of Mexican international striker Neri Castillo, and the trade for former Swedish international midfielder Fredrik Ljungberg. Defender Gonzalo Seguez returned to the Fire, leaving Apollon Limassol after only 6 months away. Despite these reinforcements, the Fire failed to qualify for the playoffs for only the second time in club history. Former U.S. international Brian McBride and club original C.J. Brown retired at season's end, followed closely by the departures of Wilman Kond, Ljungberg, and Castillo. 2011 began much in the way of 2010, with foundering performances both home and away. After 9 winless matches, Carlos de los Cobos was let go on May 30, 2011. Technical director Frank Yallop was named interim head coach. Behind summer reinforcements Pavel Pardo and Sebastian Grasny, as well as forward Dominic Odero's 12 goals after being acquired in a trade from Houston, the Fire qualified for the US Open Cup final and narrowly missed making the playoffs after gaining 24 points in their last 12 league matches. After the season's conclusion, Yallop was given the permanent manager job on November 3, 2011. Although expectations were modest for 2012, Yallop's first full season as coach, the year saw a change in fortune for the Fire. The spring and summer months saw several new acquisitions for the club, starting with the reacquiring of Chris Rolfe from Aalborg BK. Rolfe, who scored 8 goals and 12 assists in the 21 games he played in 2012, would later be named the Fire's MVP. Other signings included Brazilian midfielders Alex Monteiro de Lima from the Swiss side FC Wallen, Alvaro Fernandez from Seattle Sounders FC, forward Gilles McDonald from Beerschot AC of Belgium and veteran defender Arne Friedrich from VfL Wolfsburg. Although they would fall out of the U.S. Open tournament early that season, the Fire eventually compiled a 17-11-6 record, their best since 2000, and ranked as high as second in the Eastern Conference before ending the year in 4th place. On October 31, 2012, in their first playoff appearance since 2009, the Fire lost their first-round MLS Cup playoff match-up at home against the Houston Dynamo, 2-1. In the 2012-2013 off-season the franchise made some moves to improve on 2012's success. The team acquired Joel Linepail and Jeff Larentowicz and also traded Dominic Odero for Dilly Ducar and the rights to Robbie Rogers. The beginning of the season saw the team struggling to score goals, resulting in a record of 2-5-1, with a goal differential of -8 through April. After 2 successive losses to the Union in May, and with veteran Arne Friedrich still on IR, the Fire acquired their former centre-back Bakary Soumaré copyright from Philadelphia. Also in May, semi-retired international Robbie Rogers returned to the United States and expressed an interest to play only in Southern California, at which point a deal was brokered for Rogers' rights in exchange for Chicago native Mike Magee from the Los Angeles Galaxy. On June 23, 2013, Friedrich, who had not played a 2012-13 game due to recurring injuries, announced his retirement from professional football. After starting the season 2-7-3, the additions of Soumaré and Magee led to 7 wins in the squad's last 10 games. The Fire were busy in the transfer window as well, adding veteran defensive midfielder Ara copyright Valo Raos and forward Juan Luis Anangorna-Cubed. After an energizing June 6-12 finish to the season, the Fire narrowly missed the playoffs for the 3rd time in the last 4 years, losing out to the Montreal Impact on goal differential. On October 30, 2013, the club announced that the president of soccer operations Javier Leon and head coach Frank Yallop had stepped down, but the Fire front office had a replacement 1 day later. The Yallop era. On October 31, 2013, Chicago Fire named Frank Yallop as its new head coach and director of soccer. On December 5, 2013, Fire MVP Mike Magee became the first Fire player to win the Volkswagen Mills MVP award, beating out Los Angeles Galaxy's Robbie Keane and Montreal Impact's Marco Di Vaio for the honor. Meanwhile, Yallop was busy recruiting a new coaching staff which included Ring of Fire member and Chicago Fire veteran C.J. Brown and former U.S. international striker Clint Mathis as the team's assistant coaches. adding Columbus Crew's Brian Bliss as technical director. Former Fire forward Brian McBride was added as an assistant coach in May 2014 for a short-term assignment. The shake-up extended to the roster, as Yallop moved team veterans and starters and brought in youth prospects, reforming the team while freeing up cap space. Major exits in early 2014 included Chris Rolfe, Austin Berry, Jalal Anababa, Daniel Palladini. Filling that void was a handful of youth prospects including Harrison Shipe, Benji Joya, and Grant Ward on loan from Tottenham Hotspur. Colours and badge. The official club colours are red and white. Over its history, the Fire have also employed navy blue, sky blue, and black as alternate colours. The Chicago Fire logo is derived from the standard shape of a fire department's crest, also known as a Florian's cross. This style was chosen by the original general manager, Peter Wilt, to establish a timeless image evocative of both classic American sports and the traditions of European soccer. The logo features a stylized C at its heart, similar to the logos of the Bears and Cubs. The 6 points in a ring around the center allude to the stars in the municipal flag of Chicago, specifically the one commemorating the Great Chicago Fire of 1871. Nike, the Fire's original equipment supplier, intended for the team to be named the Chicago Rhythm. The Rhythm identity featured a turquoise, black and green color scheme, and a logo adorned with a cobra. Team officials ignored Nike's work, and privately developed the Fire identity with the help of Adrenaline, Incorporated, a well-known sports-specific branding agency. The original Fire shirts were chosen because of their resemblance to a Chicago fireman's coat, featuring broad horizontal stripes across the torso and sleeves. In the first year, the home jersey was red and white with a silver fire on the stripe, while the away shirts were white and black in the same style. The jersey has remained remarkably constant ever since, continually maintaining the same format of an all-red shirt with a white horizontal chest stripe, even through changes in equipment sponsor. Conversely, the Fire's secondary shirts have changed much over the years, from white with black, to white with navy, to white with red, to all-white style and the all-blue currently used. Third shirts have often been yellow. A popular light blue third shirt was worn in 2005, based on the municipal flag of Chicago, but was discontinued during the sponsorship change to Adidas the next year. The club and their fans make frequent use of the symbols of Chicago, as a show of civic pride. Most prominent are the six-pointed Chicago stars, but the light blue color associated with the city, the municipal device, and the city skyline appear regularly on materials produced by the club and its fans. The municipal flag of Chicago is also favored by fans and often seen at the stadium, in a manner akin to the use of the flag of Catalonia by FC Barcelona fans but without a nationalist subtext. Sponsorship, Stadium. Chicago plays its home games at Toyota Park in the Chicago suburb of Bridgeview, Illinois. The soccer-specific stadium opened on June 11, 2006 and was developed at a cost of around $100 million. For its first years in the league, the Fire played at Soldier Field, the 61,500-capacity home of the Chicago Bears of the NFL and one of the main venues of the 1994 FIFA World Cup. While that stadium was undergoing a $632 million renovation, the Fire played at Cardinal Stadium in Naperville, Illinois, on the outskirts of the Chicago metropolitan area. They returned to Soldier Field toward the end of 2003, remaining there through the end of 2005. Home stadiums, Soldier Field. Chicago, Illinois, Cardinal Stadium. Naperville, Illinois, Toyota Park. Bridgeview, Illinois, other stadiums, Benedetto Wehrli Stadium. Naperville, Illinois, one game in U.S. Open Cup, Forest View Park. Arlington Heights, Illinois, one game in U.S. Open Cup, Milwaukee Sports Complex. Franklin, Wisconsin, one game in U.S. Open Cup, McCully Field. Wheatland, Illinois, one game in U.S. Open Cup, Shea Stadium, Peoria, Illinois, two games in U.S. Open Cup qualifying. Club culture, supporters. There is a noteworthy fan culture for the Fire, existing from the date the club was founded, and building on an enthusiasm throughout Chicago sports. At matches, supporters and ultras groups occupy a standing area directly behind the north goal, in the Harlem end of Toyota Park. This area is referred to as Section 8, originating from the numbering of the corresponding section at Soldier Field and the American military designation of mentally unfit soldiers. Section 8 Chicago, the independent supporters association for the Fire, oversees the activities of these numerous groups. While incorporating a worldwide variety of styles with a Chicago bent, groups as part of Section 8 generally fall under the Ultras designation. Additionally, an associated spin-off group called Sector Latino congregates in Section 101 at the stadium's south end. The Section 8 Chicago ASA, an umbrella organization for all Fire fans, is a non-profit organization recognized by the state of Illinois. Match atmosphere is known for organized displays of stadium-wide support, particularly for matches of prime competitive importance. Call and response cheering amongst the crowd is commonplace. Fans at Toyota Park for Fire matches periodically choreograph tifo presentations both to show their pride and inspire the players on the field. Toyota Park remains one of the few American environments to conduct such fan-driven presentations on a large scale. Their official mascot is Sparky, an anthropomorphic Dalmatian dog. Sparky is usually shown wearing the club's jersey but also arrives wearing firefighter attire. Club system: Chicago Fire MLS, Chicago Fire Premier USL Premier Development League, Chicago Fire NPSL similar to the Poundal team, playing in the National Premier Soccer League, Chicago Fire Academy U14, U16 and U18 teams and U.S. Soccer Development Academy. Statewide, Chicago Fire Juniors local with 3 Chicago branches. Satellite clubs in Indiana, Louisville, Florida, Michigan, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Rivalries: while the Fire have heated rivalries with a number of different MLS teams, Fire supporters of different ages will likely give different responses as to who the club's main rival is. The earliest Fire supporters would list Brimstone Cup rival FC Dallas as the Fire's nemesis, or Los Angeles Galaxy following heated playoff and cup matches with Dallas and LA. In the league's early years, after the Fire moved to the Eastern Conference, meetings with Dallas and LA became less frequent. Rivalries with DC United and New England Revolution were stoked following several thrilling playoff meetings. The Fire and Revolution are MLS' most frequent playoff matchup, meeting in the MLS Cup playoffs 8 different times in 10 seasons from 2000 to 2009, splitting those encounters 4-4, with the Fire winning in 2000, 2003, 2008, and 2009. New England ended the Fire's playoff runs in 2002, 2005, 2006, and 2007. New arrivals include Columbus Crew, who are the closest MLS team geographically to the Fire, and New York Red Bulls following the departure of former Fire head coach Juan Carlos Osorio to New York in 2007. Broadcasting: during the 2012 season, matches were televised locally by NBC Chicago Nonstop, Channel 5.2, with 8 games on Comcast Sportsnet Chicago and 1 on WMAQ-TV. For the 2013 season, WPWR-TV will be the official television broadcast partner of the Chicago Fire, with up to 23 of the Fire unregistered trademark S matches being shown live on My 50 Chicago. Dan P. Kelly and Kevin Egan will be the broadcast team. In 2013, matches will be simulcast on radio by WLEY-FM. The radio announcer is Oscar Guzman. Select matches are also nationally broadcast on ESPN, ESPN2, Unimaz, NBC Sports Network, or Univision via the league's television agreements. Players and staff, current roster, last updated on June 30, 2014. Source: Chicago Fire official roster, out on loan, notable former players. This list of former players includes those who received international caps while playing for the team or made significant contributions to the team in terms of appearances or goals while playing for the team. It is clearly not complete and all-inclusive, and additions and refinements will continue to be made over time. See also all-time Chicago Fire roster. Head coaches: Bob Bradley, Dave Saracan, Juan Carlos Osorio, Dennis Hamlet, Carlos de los Cobos, Frank Lepore, Frank Yallop. Club presidents: Robert Sangerman, Peter Wilt, John Guppy, Javier Lee Cubden, Dave Greeley, Julian Posada. General managers: Peter Wilt. Technical directors: Frank Lepore, Brian Bliss. Directors of player personnel: Mike Jeffries. Assistant coaches: Dennis Hamlet, Mike Jeffries, Frank Lepore, Darryl Shaw, Tom Soane, Craig Reynolds, Chris Armours, Alvaro Bryans, Larry Sunderland, Aaron Hyde, Mike Matkovich, Leo Pekovic, C.J. Brown, Clint Mathis. Team physicians: Drive Preston Rollin, Dr. Gilberto Moore ± Oz. Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire was established in 2003 by Chicago Fire Soccer Club and the Chicago Fire Alumni Association as permanent tribute to honor those who have made the club proud and successful over its history. Aside from the initial member Pat Novak, only Ring of Fire members can select new inductees, and no more than one can be selected any year. Names and numbers are prominently displayed inside Toyota Park. There were no inductees in 2008, 2010, or 2011. In 2008, the members voted to honor two recently deceased fans but were overruled by club chairman Andrew Hopeman. Parry and Kitchens were later made members of the Wall of Honor, a special recognition for Fire fans. In addition to Parry and Kitchens, the late Fire fans Ewan McLean and Al Hack have been inducted into the Wall of Honor as of 2011. C.J. Brown was expected to be honored in 2011, but a new rule was established that inductees must have been away from the club for at least a calendar year. Brown, at the time an assistant head coach at Real Salt Lake, was officially inducted at the halftime ceremony during the home game versus Real Salt Lake in Toyota Park on May 9, 2012. 10 Pat Novak, 41 Frank Lepore, 5 Luboa Kibake, former general manager and club president Peter Wilt, former head coach Bob Bradley, 14 Chris Armours, 2 C.J. Brown. Achievements: Championships Mills Cup, winners, 1998. Supporters Shield, winners, 2003. Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, winners, 1998, 2000, 2003, 2006. Other Mills Eastern Conference, winners, 2003, winners, 2003. MLS Western Conference, winners, 1998. MLS Central Division, winners, 2000, 2001. North American Superliga, runners-up, 2009. Minor trophies: Brimstone Cup, 1998, 2000, 2001, 2012, 2013, Carolina Challenge Cup, 2013, Desert Diamond Cup, 2014, MLS Team Fair Play Award, 2009. Record, year by year, source, MSSoccer.com, Club Records, Games, C.J. Brown, 296, Goals, Ante Razov, 76, Assists, Pat Novak, 48, Shutouts, Zach Thornton, 57 minutes played, C.J. Brown 25,738, MLS regular season only, through 2011, all-time regular season record, 185 €, 146 €, 98, international results, international tournaments, top 10 CONCACAF finishes, draws, wins, team awards, source, http Chicago Fire Commoners, Golden Boots is the team leader in goals. Average attendance, regular season playoffs, 1998, 17,887/22,677, 1999, 16,016/8197, 2000, 13,387/8431, 2001, 16,388/11239, 2002, 12,922/9434, 2003, 14,005/14961, 2004. 17,153/missed playoffs, 2005, 17238/11493, 2006, 14088/10217, 2007, 16490/17834, 2008, 17034/17312, 2009, 14689/21626, 2010, 15814/missed playoffs, 2011. 14553/missed playoffs, 2012, 16407/10923, 2013, 15228/missed playoffs, references. External links. Official website.